Behind me are the do-it-yourself play set with a slide, climbing net, and climbing holds, as well as a swing set that I built for my two kids. In this video I'm going to go over real quick the features, build quality, prices, labor time, cut list, construction method, and tools used. So if you are interested, you could build something just like it. So in terms of the features, you can see it has a climbing net. This is a CrossFit climbing net that holds adults and supposed to hold thousands of pounds of weight. There's the slide. There's climbing holds here, as well as slats that they can climb up on. And then finally we have a swing set with a couple different swing attachments. I have a regular swing, a bucket swing, trapeze bar, and then this rope climbing deal. And then obviously there's sand down there for cushioning. In terms of build quality, my brother called this overbuilt. It is much higher quality than what you buy in a store. I looked at a model at Costco for $1,100. That was the best price I could find, and it was made mostly from cedar that was 1x4 or smaller, and you can see that this is much sturdier. It's 2x2 4x4 lumber treated, as well as 2x4 treated lumber, and 5/4 by 4-inch treated cedar as well. This should last a lot longer. It's much sturdier. It fully holds the weight of an adult with absolutely no movement or anything like that. And as my brother said, probably overbuilt, and that may be why it cost a bit more too. So for the construction method, I took the 4x4s that you see here and across the middle, and I laid these on the ground, attached the Simpson strong ties here that hold it together. And this is a steel plate basically that holds this. This is very strong and will never give way. Very good way to hold things together. It's used usually inside of homes to hold thousands of pounds of weight. So put these together. Once that was done, I dug the holes and placed this post structure here in, and then I used a couple pieces of wood to help balance it while I got it level. I did that with each side, and then I used these, which I'd pre-cut, and tacked a couple in place just with nails to hold it for temporarily up and down until I got it positioned just right, got everything leveled out. Then I came back through and added more pieces of wood, as well as the 2x4s over here, which these are not for climbing, these are just structural. You can see I added diagonal supports that will help prevent any sort of failures that could happen. So these structural supports, I have 3 little beams across here, and that'll prevent it from collapsing this way or collapsing this way. And then I have structural supports at the diagonal here on this direction to help give it strength in this direction as well. I used nails on everything initially to hold it in place, but then I added screws. You can see how I did this. So the initial nail went in, then I came back with exterior deck screws, which will hold it very well. I used temporary bracing, did the railings and slats up above as well. That was the final part. The decking and the slats came last. First I did the deck, and then once the deck was up, I put up the railings. The railings, as you can see, are built of a 2x4 coming across that's treated, and it rests on top of another smaller section of 2x4 that's very securely fastened into the 4x4. So that supports the weight downwards, and then the weight outwards is supported by all of these slats coming across. Very sturdy. I tried pushing on it with my full body weight, 210 pounds, and there's absolutely no movement. In terms of labor time, I spent about 4 hours shopping for everything I needed, whether online or in Home Depot for the lumber. Got all the climbing net and the slide and the holds, as well as the hardware over here on the swing set, online on Amazon mostly. It took me about 2 hours to stain the cedar. The treated wood was already stained. Took me around 16 hours to do all the framing work and get it all together and standing and level and plumb and all that sort of thing. And then it took me about an additional 2 hours to attach the slide and to attach the climbing net, put on the climbing holds, and set up the swing set. One actually thing, probably an extra hour was spent just drilling those holes through that 6-inch beam up there that holds up the swing set parts. Tools I used a level, hammer, cordless drill, framing nailer, which makes things much easier if you have a framing nailer, if you have a friend or somebody in construction who might lend you or rent you one. Used a knife, measuring tape, cordless circular saw for cutting the wood. I have a miter saw, but I just didn't even need it, not for this sort of cutting usually. A shovel and pickaxe, as well as a framing square. The supplies are 3 1/4 inch framing nails, are what I use for holding it in. Then 3 1/8 inch exterior deck screws. That's what really holds everything tightly together. I had 4 12-foot long 4x4 treated posts. And then I had 2 8-foot long 4x4 treated posts, which are these pieces coming across right here. I had 8 2x4 treated 8-foot long. I needed 26 8-foot long 5 1/4 or 5/4 of an inch cedar right here, exterior cedar decking. By 4 inches wide. I got 26 8-foot lengths of those, cut them all in half. So that's all the 4-foot lengths. I used all of those for the slats, as well as for the deck here that the kids climb on. And then finally the climbing holds on the other side there for holding those up. I also had the estimated cost for all this. I spent about $180 on wood for the swing and about $600 on the wood for the play set. Now this is April of 2021 when lumber prices are extremely high, and they may continue to go up, so I guess we'll see, but that's what I paid here in April 2021. Also on Amazon, I went on and bought all this stuff, and I can put the links in the description for the video, but I had this multicolor swing rope. It cost $35. I had the climbing holds and rope that you see over here. So the climbing holds, this set of climbing holds, they're very sturdy, nice plastic. They were $40, and it came with that little rope right there that you see. The cargo net was $110. It's a very sturdy cargo net, but I do think that the weather will wear on it after a while. We'll see how long it lasts. The slide was $180, and that's actually very cheap for a slide. But the slide I purchased had some reviews that mentioned you had to drill out the holes yourself because they weren't drilled properly, which I did. Took a little extra work, but the slide is sturdy otherwise. The swing hangers over here that you see are $25 for each set of 3, and that does not include the bolts, which you have to buy separately, which are very expensive. But these are the swing hangers, very sturdy, $25 for 2 of those. The bolts, I think, were like $4 or $5 or $6 a piece. The 8-inch long, 1/2 inch bolts. And then I had the swing. This swing cost $23. The toddler bucket seat swing cost $50. The trapeze bar cost $30. And these brackets, which I would highly recommend, cost $80. The brackets, if you think you can do it yourself, guarantee you won't do it as sturdy as these steel brackets are. and you'll spend a lot more labor and your own time trying to get something right. These were very sturdy, and I would highly recommend those. So the grand total cost for me was about $780 of lumber and $620 of all the extras I got off of Amazon. So the grand total cost was $1,400. And I talked to some guys in Costco about the Costco set, and they said they had heard from people, and when they put one together in the store for a model, that it took about 2 full days of work to get it together. This took probably 3 full days of work when you put it all together, so about 50% more labor. But the nice thing is it's fully extensible easily by myself. I could add extra platforms and things coming off of it. I could add different toys later on. I could add on a rope swing or whatever else my kids might be interested in or that we might think would be fun. So yeah, highly recommend doing it this way, and I'll try and put some of those links in the description if you're interested in following this procedure. So kids have been playing on it. They love it. It's very solid, secure. My biggest concern actually is I'd like something softer on the ground in case they fall. I put pretty deep sand here, but even with about a foot of sand, I'm concerned that a heavy impact might be damaging. I thought about pea gravel, which I think actually you can put in deeper, and that might take more of an impact. I don't really know. Still thinking about that. But the sand does work decent. And by the way, the sand was about $100 for 5 cubic yards of it, and that took care of all the sand that I really needed here. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments, and I'll try and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.